Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to talk about one of the coolest fighting games there is that came out in the Xbox PlayStation 2 era. Now before I get into it, just a reminder to go ahead and click down below to subscribe. And don't forget to also click the link below to join our Facebook group to discuss this video and many of the other cool things in the news right now. So the game I'm talking about is none other than Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And this one was from the Xbox, but there is also a release done on the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast. And I gotta say, this is definitely one of my favorite fighting games. And whenever I talk about games, I always like to relate about the time frame that was released and provide a perspective of technology and what was gameplay back then. When this game was released, most other fighters really had a lineup of about 15, 20 characters. That was the general ballpark. This game, a whopping 56 characters. What? Yep, 56 characters. So quite a bit of variety and quite a bit of different gameplays that provided some innovation compared to what was in the marketplace out there. A lot of fun, and really has some of the most iconic characters from the Marvel universe, and especially quite a few characters from the X-Men part of the universe from Marvel. Now, one of the things I admire from some of these Marvel vs. Capcom games is they select some characters both from the Marvel side and the Capcom side that are really famous, but then some that are not that famous. Okay, and they bring it up to light, and you get to experience a little bit of some of these B-rated second-class type characters, but this mix I think provides a really good variety versus always being the A-list game or A-list players. Hey, but better than talking, let's go and take a look at this.
Capcom's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So one of the staples that I always love about the series is their intro and this little soundtrack and animation they have, and just the beat that they put to it. I don't know, it always gets my blood rushing and ready to go and jump into the fight. But the intro itself already starts to highlight some of the new features that are included in this version of the game when it came out, and I think it's pretty neat that they blended that into the intro. So once you get into it, there's a couple different play modes, and you get into the character select screen, and here's your whopping 56 different characters, evenly distributed. Now, really one of the characters is a variation on the skin, which is Wolverine, and it has the claw version versus the adamantium claws version. So bone claw versus adamantium. There's quite a few different X-Men characters, and I love the X-Men franchise, so it's really cool to play with them and go through and play with some of their powers. So we got Storm, Cyclops here in an all-good battle, and the game itself has some really good depth to it. So it's just as easy to jump into this game and start fighting and enjoy it. Do some button smashing and have fun, but it also has quite a bit of depth into it and styles and techniques that you can use in combos to really do some serious damage to your opponents. I'm jumping through several different fragments of fights to illustrate some of the characters and some of the different combos and the gameplay, but I can't say it enough how much I enjoy this game. So here we got Dr. Doom versus Ken, and you can call in the combos of your trifecta friends here to beat up and use some combination special powers versus your own individual's power. So Silver Samurai, so this is an example of really an offbeat, what I would always call a B-level type character in the Marvel universe. Not a lot of people know about Silver Samurai, but here he is, full-fledged glory in this game, and he's pretty cool to play with. And then you have your A-brand level characters with Captain America and going all out here. We got some of the Resident Evil and the zombie play action coming in, which is pretty funny, especially the blend of background type attacks that you can incorporate into it. But hey, all it takes is a super. And Psylocke, this is one of my favorite X-Men. I think she's really cool in her powers and overall stance. And her gameplay is phenomenal. I mean, she can really do a lot of damage once you learn how to play with her. Not a lot of games with Psylocke in, so it's one of those gems in this one. And you can alternate with your characters, bring them in and out to balance the gameplay, which is amazing, and how quick it can happen on the fly. There's another character that is not a lot of, you don't see a lot nowadays in the Marvel Universe, and I hope one of these days they make some additional feature films on him, Gambit. And then you have from Street Fighter as well, I can never say his name right, Tulsim as well. So really amazing blend of fights and moves that you can incorporate on the fly with all these different characters, making this a really diverse game and fun game.
Wow, really, if you compare this game versus some of the current fighting games, it still looks pretty good and plays really good. Now, it's a shame this game unfortunately still does not have backwards compatibility on the current Xbox generations, the Series X. So really, if you want to play at least this version of it, you're gonna have to get an original Xbox. But anyway, if you're a collector, I hope you already have an original Xbox. So definitely a really awesome game. And one of the cool things, again, when I play some of these games, especially this one, a lot of memories come back. And I get to relive some of the great days playing this on an arcade machine, but then later on at home versus my friends, and having some really good competition between us. Hey, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on this game, and what your thoughts are this run versus some of the newer ones of Marvel vs. Capcom that have come out. What's your favorite one? Love to hear that, and discuss a little bit more in our video game fans group in Facebook. Click the link down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.